Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, Fatal Fury is over, and hey, people will say it wasn't a great night of boxing, but yes, it was. It's a great night of boxing because, damn it, we got three or four good fights. The results, you never, we can have the NBA playoffs. I ain't happy about a lot of stuff. I didn't like the way my Milwaukee Bucks, right? Antetokounmpo went out. I didn't like the way those last 20 something seconds went. I'm still pissed about that. You know what I'm saying? So things happen. You know what I'm saying? Things happen. And you don't like the results, but I'm happy that the NBA playoffs are going down. So if you got fights, big fights, we might not be happy with the results, but let's make sure we get it clear. We were able to have three huge fights in one night. That's not how it normally goes down. Now, I'm going to talk about Devin Haney and Jose Ramirez. I've talked about, of course, Ryan Garcia loss versus Rolly Romero. I talked about that. I'm going to get to that again in the course of a few days, of course. And Teofimo Lopez versus Barboza. Also, props for Teo for coming in and winning that fight, in comfortable fashion and against a guy who I thought he didn't really want to fight, right? And Teofimo Lopez came in, and it's very similar to Devin Haney, what we're going to talk about in a minute, but I'm just saying this. Sometimes when we're judging these fighters, it's an emotion, right? That we people have that's almost extinct, right? And that's empathy. We talk about it sometimes, right? Just put yourself in Teofimo Lopez's shoes. Teo has pissed me off a lot of late, but let's be objective. No matter that you're pissed off at the guy, he's been acting up. But let me just say this: if you're Teofimo Lopez, you know that you shouldn't have got the win versus Jermaine Ortiz. You know that you shouldn't have got the win against Sandor Martin. You know that you shouldn't have fought no damn Stephen Claggart, right? And then all of a sudden that was harder than it's supposed to be. So your confidence is not at the tip top. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to come in here against Arnold Barboza and, pretty much nervous about doing that fight. But to go in here, look confident, have a confident fight, stay safe, not engage as much, but to handling your business, right? And winning a fight, come on. That's the best case scenario for the guy. Of course, he could have blasted Barboza out of there, but winning that fight is a good thing. So good for Teofimo Lopez. Let's see if he's going to fight somebody of substance after this. But at least go get this W. That's what it's all about. I'm telling y'all. So let's talk Devin Haney, Jose Ramirez. Right before I preface this by saying I like defense, right? In all sports. I can watch a basketball game, and at the end of it could be 75 to 78. And I'll be happy. They finally letting these people play some defense. They shooting 3-point shots, everybody, and you can't defend them. They're calling the best players in the league players. Hey, he's the best player in the league. He's the best player in the league, and they can't play defense. I'm from a different generation. My best player in the league shouldn't be somebody that can't play defense good. That should be a prerequisite. It's two sides of the ball. The offensive side shouldn't be looking for this guy to isolate this guy, but he's the best player in the league or the top five. You shouldn't be in the top five if you can't play defense well. That's how I roll. So, and I like defense. I love to see it. When I'm looking out, I look at the top 10 dunks of the month or something, but I'm sure gonna look at the top 10 blocks. You know what I mean? For sure, I have just as much joy in watching block shots because it's hard to do. And let's be real, you jump up there to try to block a shot, there's no incentive, none, because you're just gonna get embarrassed to put on a poster. I think when you block a dunk, for example, I'm getting too much into basketball, but I'm just gonna say, if you block a dunk, right, I think you should get an extra foul. That means if you had 5 fouls left or you start with 6 and you block the dunk at the beginning of the game, then you got 7. It should be some kind of incentive to go up there to even try to contest the dunk because there's no incentive other than you about to get dunked on national TV. That's just another thing. So I love defense. In a football game, it could be 7-3 because the defense is just rushing the quarterback. They stopping the run. That's awesome to watch. Defense. A baseball game, right? I don't have a problem watching a game that's 12-8 because the people are hitting the ball. But listen, if a pitcher is dominating and he's got a no-hitter going, or gave up 1 run in 7 innings with 10 strikeouts, that's awesome to watch. You know what I'm saying? You got to know what a pitcher's got to do. He's got to get it over the plate between your chest and your knees, and then the umpire going to call some strikes balls anyway. Because everybody wants offense. So I'm just saying that. So when a boxer is good at defense, I'm down with him, too. Because if not, then I don't need to be watching boxing. We could watch bar fights or old Western movies where people are getting hit over chairs and just everybody gets hit and there's no defense. I watch boxing for a reason. So let me make sure that's clear. So, Devin Haney's win against Jose Ramirez is being downplayed. It's not really being appreciated for what it is. Let's make sure this is clear. This is Devin Haney we're talking about. This is Mr. I take hard fights constantly, over and over, over and over. And, there's some people that say, his opponents have been old and he's not really proven himself against the young opponents. Well, let's make sure this is clear. The young ones didn't fight him when they could. Teofimo Lopez could have fought him for undisputed and didn't. Ryan Garcia was his mandatory and didn't want to fight him. Gervonta Davis let this other guy in his division become undisputed, and Gervonta's never wanted any part of him, right? Those are young guys that didn't want any, and I'm probably forgetting some names. You see what I'm saying? So he's been going after him. He was going after Lomachenko, calling him Nomachenko when he was 20 years old, and Loma was young at that time. He didn't want none, right? Took a franchise title instead of doing so. So therefore, let's make sure this is clear. He's tried to fight everybody. So after going through the debacle of having somebody hit on your head, knock you down 3 times with a whole lot of dope in them, and after seeing this fight with Ryan Garcia's fight with Rolly, we know damn well he was doped. And like I always say, to the gills, he was doped, a whole lot of dope in him. Where it started messing with his personality. His character was all different. He was tripped out, freaked out, acting weird, right? So now a normal Ryan Garcia is mortal, a little bit below mortal. Ridiculous how different the people are. So you have to get up from those 3 knockdowns and try to have a hard fight, which I said people could have worded like that. Wow, look how well he did against a doped fighter, an obviously doped fighter, a fighter who didn't even have to lose the last 3.5 pounds and drain his body, which goes on your punch resistance. Every normal thinking person who doesn't have some kind of thing going on, regardless of what it is, if it's racism or just some kind of other thing that, people run around here calling people who like Devin Haney, Haneyacks, which is ignorant, is my opinion. There's no reason to be calling them Haneyacks. What do you mean? People that should be liking Devin Haney. People should be we should like fighters who try to fight everybody. We should like fighters who are trying to become undisputed. Why shouldn't we? You know what I mean? Especially in New Russia, where all kind of stuff is going on. Right now, to call a Haneyack to me is ridiculous, but whatever. These people, this guy has taken all the challenges. So before this fight, people were saying, well, after going through that, you probably don't want to take on the hard-punching Jose Ramirez. That's what was going down. You don't want to do that. He's naturally bigger and hard punching. Ooh, let's see how Devin Haney's going to look. How is he going to be the same? Well, what does Devin Haney do? Comes in the fight, what I wanted him to do. Exactly what I wanted him to do. Me, personally. Don't listen to these damn racists, right? Don't listen to people who don't wish you well and people who are watching boxing for BTBG. Go get the win. Come back in. Get your feet wet. Make this guy handle his business. This guy couldn't cut off the ring. Jose Ramirez, sorry, why didn't you? Devin Haney was able, with his conditioning, to stay away, right? He was able to stay away. And he done what he had to do to win the fight. He didn't engage much, Didn't do nothing, didn't take too many risks. In this fight, I didn't want him to. Come back, get the win, and handle your business. That's what he was able to do. So now we're looking like, well, he's not the same. Why did he stay away? He didn't engage, and it was boring, right? But it's always boring, you know. My point was, let's let the man get back. Let's not forget who Jose Ramirez was. I think he did the right thing, and I think that was a good fight from him for the first one coming back after someone else cheating on you. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, I figure it was what he was supposed to do. Let's go ahead and just give him the love for that. You know, let's see what he's going to do going forward, and right, and then let's just see. But that's all I wanted the man to do, right? Come back, win the fight. Now, you got people who can't cut off the ring. Now, Jose Ramirez should have cut off that ring if he wanted to go in here and engage with the guy, right? You know, some people can cut off the ring real well. I'll give you Gennady Golovkin could cut off the ring real well. I mean, but Gennady Golovkin was cutting off the ring against smaller fighters. You know, I don't know if he would have done that against bigger fighters, but he was good at doing it to get, you know, corner him and handle your business. Jose Ramirez was kind of just following him around. So that's his fault. But I do think we should give Devin Haney props for coming back, winning a unanimous decision against a good fighter, and getting his feet wet again and taking home the W. That's what you're supposed to do with these circumstances. Another thing you should do is make sure to sue Brian Garcia, because maybe it is to the point where he's different. I don't think Devin Haney is different right now. I think Devin Haney is doing what it is, what's necessary to get back into the swing of things. After a year, you don't want to come in here and all of a sudden try to engage and prove something to people who are not wishing you well. It's all about getting the W and fight another day. And that's what we're going to do. Devin Haney's going to be back doing some things, but I don't think he needs to engage. Plus, it's a different weight division and all kinds of things going on. So I think that's the right thing to do. Get in there, get these 12 rounds under, make sure you handle your business, and win the damn fight. Now, everybody, make sure that we get this clear. Ain't nothing wrong with no defense in all sports, right? Defensive-minded players or boxers are great for their respective sports. So let's, celebrate the D in Devin Haney. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, and I'm up out of here.